Yeah, let's move into our first discussion of the day now. The Nigerian Army has established a forward operation base in Birnin, Gwari in Kaduna State to tackle the menace of armed banditry, robbery and cattle rustling in the communities there. And correspondent Tessa Makende reports that the location of Operation Base has been the latest killing field for criminals.
Nigeria's Army Chief Tukur Buratai, accompanied by senior military officers on a mission in Birnin, Gwari, Kaduna State. They first paid homage to the traditional ruler, where they received more briefing on the security situation.
These people seem to have second, third, fourth life. You would think that you finish with them, they will then come up again. Maybe they get resupply or get help from somewhere else. But they continue coming to kill people, to steal people.
The army chief then proceeded to see his troops in the war theater. Here, he was first concerned about their welfare and allowances. The troops have also been provided machinery to get them to the hardest of terrains.
The next 2-3 weeks, there must be a very resounding results that will bring these criminals to their knees finally. They are not coming from the moon or coming from outer space. They are within this territory.
But before he left them, he tasked the commanders to be tactical. He said they will be held responsible for preventable loss of troops. Buratai said they are soldiers and must be on the offensive, taking the battle to the bandits.
To be professional means unnecessary casualties in the field is avoided. And you must apply all the techniques and the procedures. It must be offensive. Since the battle has been brought to you, you must take it back and crush them wherever they are. Is that clear? Yes, sir.
Still in Kaduna State, the army chief proceeded to the southern region. He was at the School of Artillery in Kochia, where he inspected the armory and further had a cruise in some of the machine guns. Kaduna State has been a killing field for years. The farmer-herder clashes has left several dead in the southern part of the state. In 2015 in Zaria, hundreds were sent to early graves after the army clashed with the Ayaman Shia sect in Zaria. Birnin Gwari appears to be the latest of such fields. The army, however, says they'll be meeting the bandits at the door very soon. Tessa Makende, TVC News, Birnin Gwari.
And we have joining us from our Abuja studio, the Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police, Jimoh Moshood. Thank you for joining us on the show, PPRO.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
All right, you're welcome. First off, does it seem that the police is overwhelmed with the insecurity in the country because it's supposed to be the one in charge of maintaining internal security?
Thank you so much. I want to first of all start by saying that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Putu Idris MP MNI, visited Birnin Gwari on the 2nd of May. And he conducted the security assessments of the whole area. And I wish it can be used as a trackball before I start talking, because TVC were equally on ground. And he approved the creation of a new area command, 2 divisional headquarters, and equally the deployment of more than 500 police personnel that to ensure security between Birnin Gwari to Zamfara axis. Because most of the incursion we have in Birnin Gwari are from other parts of Zamfara, because of the long stretch of the forest there that span from Niger to Birnin Gwari in Kaduna to equally Katsina and Zamfara state. But I want to make bold to say that we are not overstretched. The force have rejigged its operational strategies, and we are making progress in that regard. The IGB visited on the 2nd, and on the 10th of May, I did paraded 56 suspects that were arrested from this Birnin Gwari area, responsible for the attacks on villages and for the loss of innocent lives that have been going on around there. We have made significant progress. Equally, a rifle gang who is a vicious bandit who operate in the like manner with the Gwari Daji, who are equally apprehended and arrested by the police. We are making further investigation into this because this gang have admitted to the police that they are the people that have taken out Gwari Daji in the forest. So we are making progress as it has to do with Birnin Gwari. As I equally speak, in addition to the 2 divisional headquarters that have been created by the IG have equally contemplated and approved the creation of additional 1 divisions in that area. But we are not working in isolation. We are working with the other security and safety agencies that have to do with ensuring safety of Nigerians, because there's nowhere across the world where policing is done in isolation. We are synergizing with all the stakeholders, including the people, to ensure that the issue of killing of innocent life in Birnin Gwari is bring to a final stop. But I want to say that Birnin Gwari is a very large area. One of the only local governments that have not been splitted or another local government created from it since the creation of the local government in the early 70s. So, but we are not overstretched. We have rejigged our operational strategies, and we are making progress in the arrest and prosecution of these offenses. There's no doubt that the Nigerian police force, we are proactive in ensuring that we prevent crime before they happen, and those crimes that cannot be prevented, effective detections and investigation are used to nip in the bud other form of criminality and to ensure that they don't repeat itself.
All right, it's good to create the air of confidence so that Nigerians can keep having trust in the system. But however, talk to us, what was really the challenge the police faced in their inability to handle this issue until a lot of people were killed, until killings became like a daily occurrence in Birnin Gwari before the area command was set up by the police, and also the army battalion was set up by the chief of army staff there. Talk to us of some of the challenges the police had before now.
Thank you so much. I won't want to call them challenges. It's important for people to know that security are done in collaborations with the people. I think we are building more confidence in the people, and the people are cooperating with us more than what we had before. But the terrain, no doubt, is a very difficult terrain, and the Inspector General of Police, because of the difficulty in assessing this terrain, have deployed helicopters, the police helicopters, surveillance helicopters, in 2 in number. 1 is on the ground, another one is proceeding to Birnin Gwari as we speak, to ensure that all the difficult terrain are rooted out. But the issue of banditry in Birnin Gwari has been for quite some time now, due to issues that have to do with internal issues, which we are equally dealing with. And we want all the stakeholders, including traditional rulers, opinion group, religious leaders, and the politicians, to continue to cooperate with the police personnel on the ground. It will not be good where we have saboteur within the system. So we have issue equally to deal with those who are sabotaging the security initiatives and the security strategy being implemented. But we are above board. We are dealing with that, and we'll make sure that anybody that is directly responsible or that have any role or the other to play in the commission and the killings of these innocent souls are apprehended, are arrested. It is important to underscore the fact that one group, a gang of 3, which in the process of arresting them, police were able to eliminate about 10 of their gang members, confessed to the killing of 46 people. It's not that the engagement of these bandits are supersonic, but getting information because of difficult terrain out on time is a challenge, because it takes hours before the interior of the villages that are located in the forest before they can get information to the police. And that is why these 3 new divisional headquarters have been created, and the new area command will be able to have enough wider spread to be able to nip in the bud this criminality, and will ensure that those who have perpetrated this heinous acts are apprehended. I equally want to make bold to say that people who travel along Birnin Gwari, probably from Niger towards Kaduna, or from Birnin Gwari to Katsina to Zamfara, are having a fear of thorough fear now, because the deployment on the road have been massive. But we are not resting on our oars. Like the last suspect, 56 in number that are paraded, will recover 64 assorted rifles. Among them, we have AK-49. We equally have AK-52. So part of the investigation that we are carrying out is to trace the source of these weapons and to be able to nip them at the source of entry into this country. So by and large, and it's equally important for Nigeria and people of Birnin, Gwari, Zamfara, and Katsina and the other area, including Niger, to know that the border patrol of the force have been strengthened to ensure that any form of criminality crossing the borders are equally, people who are responsible are apprehended at that point. We know that there are quite a number of other agencies that have responsibility as to who comes into Nigeria and what kind of who comes into Nigeria. But they may not be able to have the capacity to deal with criminality as it comes into the country. And that is why the border patrol of the force, more sectors have been created to take care of those access from other countries that enter into Nigeria with prohibited firearms to commit affront. It is equally important to let Nigerians know that those firearms that were fabricated within are equally being dealt with appropriately. As we speak, more than 5,000 prohibited firearms have been recovered from wrong hand across the Federation. And this recovery is still ongoing, and more firearms are still being torn in by people who are holding them wrongly. We want to say that we'll continue to build on this, and we'll continue to do our best in ensuring that everybody is safe, including those in Birnin, Gwari and other locations across the country.
It's quite comforting, really, what you just told us about measures put in place by the police and the military as well. But then, what do we make of this latest development of the kidnapping of about 3 housewives reported just yesterday? And according to a member of Birnin Gwari Vanguards for Security and Good Governance, there was no security post or even security personnel in Maganda, the village where the housewives were kidnapped in Birnin Gwari.
We are equally dealing with that, but it won't be appropriate and it will be unprofessional of me to let you know what strategy we are adopting and what tactics we have been put in place in order to safeguard and ensure the safety of those who are under captivity as we speak. We are making progress in the investigation, and the new divisions that is being approved in addition to the 2 will cover the area where this incident have taken place. But we want people to know that the sensibility and sensitiveness of Nigeria and their security consciousness is improving by the day, and we want them to continue to have trust and confidence in Nigerian police force for having the capacity and capability to be able to protect and defend every Nigerian. So we are making progress in that regard.
All right, talking about security now, the traditional ruler of Birnin Gwari had called on his people to defend themselves after so much frustration as to the security agencies not being able to protect the people. Now, the police had called for a mop-up of arms, which you mentioned earlier on. If you see from the perspective of how defenseless the people have become when these bandits carry out their attacks rather, at broad daylight, in the afternoon sometimes, they come into villages and the people are so defenseless, wouldn't you say it is counterproductive to talk about mop-up of arms, especially in those areas?
It's not counterproductive at all, the mopping up of firearms, because that's a point to start, and we are making progress in that regard. But we want people to know that the force is ready to defend them, and more additional personnel have been deployed. They should have confidence in our capacity to be able to defend them. But for them, every Nigerian have the right to self-defense if you are being attacked, but not that people should get armed and start defending or protecting themselves. It will worsen the situation. So we found this call not helping the people and not helping the nation in the first instance. And we are not able to actualize whether the call was made by the traditional ruler you refer to or not. But if it is true, I think it's an unfortunate one, and we want all Nigerians to condemn it in ramification. When crime occurs, there's no society across the world that is crime-free. When you watch global trend, the issue of terrorism and issue of attack across even the developed country in the world that have been dealt with. So when you have a problem in your hand, what is the solution you are providing, and how you preventing such from occurring. So, and like I said earlier, we have made progress in this, in nipping the bond. In the last few weeks or this, as we have it, there has not been any new attack, but we are not resting on our oars in ensuring that every Nigerian is defended and protected against any form of attack across the country. But we want all and sundry. We are not only dealing with the symptoms of the attack alone, we are dealing with the source, because there are quite a number of factors that are responsible for what we are witnessing, and we are dealing with them one after the other, and we are making progress in this regard.
Well, there was new attack, and that was one I mentioned earlier about housewives kidnapped. Okay, now let's just get some form of assuring words from you that henceforth from now, that the activities or efforts of the police and other security agencies are going to use positive results in nipping the insecurity activities rather, in southern Kaduna in the bud, because that particular region in Kaduna has been under attack for so long. And how can they be assured now that it's going to be different?
Thank you so much. I'm assuring them, and I want them to take us by our words, and they are going to see improved progress. The area command that have been created have taken off. The 3 new divisions, 2 are taken off. 2 are fully taken off. The additional 1 will be taken off in a few days. And we want them to know that this is done in ensuring that we have adequate security around the area and they are properly protected. But I want to quickly add that we, apart from those 56 suspects that I mentioned that were arrested in Birnin Gwari last week, we have made 3 additional arrests. So I don't want to push me into saying what is not appropriate on air, so that we can have progress in ensuring that we investigate properly, and the crime of which they have been accused of, for which they have been arrested, we are able to prosecute them appropriately in the court of competent jurisdiction for the act they have committed. And we've equally recovered additional weapons, apart from the 64 weapons that I told you. As we speak, the Inspector General of Police not only visiting Birnin Gwari and assessing the security situation and making this deployment of additional 1 area command, 3 divisions, and the police personnel, he has equally put in the special tactical force of the force, including the police special forces, who are carrying out investigation and ensuring that these bandits are arrested. So the police is taking the war to the bandits in the forest, and we are making progress. In no short course, we are going to equally parade those that have been arrested within last week that we did the last parade, and this week that we are in now. So there's no cause for alarm. Situation have been dealt with, but we want those who want to use this opportunity to score cheap political goal to know that they are not doing the country any good. Politicians, especially those who are mischievous politicians, should desist from playing politics with people's life. It is important that everybody join hands to ensure that there's safety in the country. There's no way across the world where police alone don't resolve issues that lead to crime. We partner with the community and all the stakeholders, and importantly, those who are leading the people. It's important that all of them should join hands in ensuring that safety in this country. Thank you.
All right. You said that some arrests have been made so far, and from the investigations you've carried out, at least from the information you can talk to the public about, what is peculiar about Birnin Gwari that is making this banditry very recurrent in the killings in that part of the country or part of Kaduna State?
Thank you so much. Like I told you earlier on, that Birnin Gwari is one of the local government that were created in the early 70s. And this local government have not actually been delineated into what I mean is another local government have not been created from it. It's an old local government, and it's very large, and there's a need to increase our deployment, which the Inspector General of Police have done. He has deployed 2 helicopters. But the difficult terrain, in the sense that the villages are located in the interior. If an incident occurs, it takes hours before you can get across to the nearest police station. And there's difficulties equally in communication and others. I think police duty, police in carrying out core police responsibility, there's need for development in the infrastructure. We know that the roads are there, but they need to ensure that all agency of government that's responsible for ensuring that there's properly mapped out,
PPRO,
equally.
PPRO, let me, sorry, you've not answered the question yet.
Strategy and tactics. If you allow me to finish, I think I'll love this.
No, it will be better for you to answer the question directly so that people can get it. Because
go ahead, please.
All right, fine. The question I was asking earlier is that there are many parts of Kaduna State, but the killings in Birnin Gwari has been recurrent. What is peculiar about Birnin Gwari that the killings are taking place there more than any other place so far in the recent past? That's the question.
Thank you so much. In answering that question, I wouldn't want to go into giving out part of what we are investigating or the detail of our investigation on public television, because it's quite awkward and absurd, or probably unconventional to begin to tell detail of police investigation on public television. Having said that, we want people in Birnin Gwari to know that we are dealing with the situation. That is what I think is important for people to know, because what we are saying this morning is in the interest of the public, and to ensure that the public get to know what we are doing, and for the need for them to continue to cooperate with this police personnel deployed in the locality in Birnin Gwari. But the difficult terrains is there, and we are dealing with that, and that is why we are not only using the motorized patrol, we are equally employing the use of our police helicopter surveillance to ensure that these personnel are moved in on time. And the police special forces that were trained abroad are equally being deployed, and they are the people we use to push in to flush out the bandits in the difficult terrain, and they are there on the ground. So anything that you want me to say beyond this will not be helping the Nigerian police force in our strive to ensure that we rake in all the bandits in this region.
All right, earlier you talked about, or you gave out a warning to mischief makers not to play politics with these killings. But then there are worries in the country that, in fact, the police seems to have been politicized, which you, for one, at one point described a governor of a state as a drowning man. What do you have to say?
Thank you so much. The police is apolitical. There's no instances where I, for one, have described a governor of a state a droning man. I think this matter has been dealt with appropriately, and it is there for people to know where the chief press secretary of a governor will call the Inspector General of Police of Federal Republic of Nigeria a liar. And I said we don't join issue with a droning man. That's what I said. I never called a governor of a state a droning man. So whatever inference people are drawing from there, they are just try to be mischievous before the facts are there for everybody to listen to. But we have dealt with this matter appropriately, and we've restored sanity in that state that you are referring to, and we are equally restoring sanity in all the troubled states.
All right, we just lost the feed from Abuja there. We've been talking with the... He's back now, the police public relations officer, Jimoh Moshood. Yeah, you were saying something. Okay, let me ask you this question now. Hang on, let me just ask you this question now. Because of time. Yes, because of time. Now, you used the word sabotage earlier on. Can you confirm that, were you saying that there is sabotage from within the system on the security in either Birnin Gwari or parts of the country?
When I say sabotage, I'm not talking in terms of the whole country, for example. I'm talking of the specific operation that we are carrying out, that they are sabotaged before the operation was launched, and that is why you have those incidents occurring. And we are dealing with all the factors, including factors that have to do with sabotage, that have to do with the criminality and the suspected criminals themselves, and getting to the root of it and getting to the root of their sponsor. Because under the law, nobody is above the law, and we ensure that anybody that that have one role or the other to play in crime or criminality anywhere in the country are dealt with in accordance with the law. The police force is a respected organization, and we are doing our best to continue to sustain this tempo of successes that we have recorded against crime. You know, the vampire have been raining havoc in the southeast. We are able to rake in vampire and his group. Evans have been arrested, and equally in other areas such as Southern Kaduna, even the issue of Zakibian, all were deployment were made and the situation was brought under control. And like I was saying before you caught me, in Ife, for example, we resource sanity single-handedly by the Nigerian police force. This is due to the cooperation of all and sundry in the regard of fighting crime and criminality. So we want every state to borrow leave from all the achievements that we are making to continue to cooperate with police personnel as being deployed in their various states. Thank you.
All right, but then in discharging your duties and ensuring security across the country, some police officers, of course, have been accused of committing crimes themselves. I'm sure you are aware of, especially EFSA's officials, what they are doing across the country, accosting people and forcing them to part with their money. The allegations leveled against some, and one is even facing the music at the moment.
Thank you so much. I think these are issues that happened last year and they were dealt with. A lot of Nigeria across the Federation came out in support of SARS, that SARS should be reformed and shouldn't be ended. And the Inspector General of Police have done that. The SARS have been unified as an operational department under the operational department, and the Commissioner of Police have been appointed at the first headquarters. And equally, the commander of SARS are under the control of the Commissioner of Police in charge of SARS at the federal headquarters. We are not ruling out completely that there's no any issue of unprofessional conduct on their part, and those officers have been identified and they have been dealt with appropriately. But we want to say largely that most of the posts on the social media in respect of NSAS were not correct, because a lot of them were investigated. Because investigation is a scientific approach to be able to put the person that have committed the crime at the scene of crime, to be able to prove beyond reasonable that this is the person that have done so and that. So our personnel are being retrained, and they are being trained and retrained to ensure that their conduct continue to conform with the democratic dictate. We want to say abundantly that those issues have been dealt with, but we are making progress in this regard. We are opening up a lot of avenue for people to be able to discuss with the police so that we can find a solution to their problems. So we are doing that, and we want Nigeria to continue to have confidence in our ability, like I keep on emphasizing here, to protect them, and we'll continue to do so. But where they have noticed any action or inaction from a police personnel, they should promptly report to us. The police stations spread across the nook and cranny of this country. In fact, we have over 10,000 police divisions and stations across the country which are dealing with crimes and criminality on a daily basis. We have over 300 police personnel, and if only 1% of that 300, above 300,000 is doing something wrongly in the country, then nobody will be able to walk the street. We don't arrest people anyhow. We arrest people based on the person that have committed an offense or preparing to commit an offense, because it's not only when you commit an offense that you can be brought under police custody. When you are planning to commit an offense, probably you commit an offense in the presence of a police personnel and you take to flight. We don't need a warrant to get you arrested in that. So we will continue to do our best, and we want
because
to
of
know
time.
The Inspector General of Police (IGP) have
employed
the resources of the force.
We're trying to be able to manage time, yes. But let me ask you this before I let you go. There's no way we can't talk about this. Talking about social media, you're very aware of the video that has gone viral of the IGP about the speech he made, and there were lots of issues around that. Now, the police has come to say that that video on social media, the popular video on social media, was doctored. But Nigerians also expected that the real video of what really transpired would have been released by the Nigerian police. But that doesn't seem to happen.
That has been done. The original video has been released, but you know, people who have mischievous intention will not even send that across to you. They'll be sending what they have doctored, what they have worked on, which is inappropriate. I want people to know that the video was doctored, and the person they were claiming, the reporter attached to Liberty Television in Kaduna, has equally come out and denied. I said, no, he never sent out those people. He never made such remarks to the news newspaper to be precise, the Punch newspaper that carried the report over the weekend. And we found this quite unfortunate. This is an attempt to tarnish the image of the force, not only that of the Inspector General of Police, because such doesn't exist. But we equally want people to know that that does not discourage us. It doesn't deter the IG from carrying out its responsibility. Whosoever is behind the video should know that it's not doing the force any good. It's a disservice to the Nigerian police force and the nation at large. And we will continue to let people know that that video does not exist. Anything that they have seen on social media is not backed by fact and is not the correct thing. And we would be doing our best to ensure that we bring the appropriate and the adequate information to the public. But we resist coming into the public about the video, because the video, for every reasonable Nigerian knows that video was doctored and is not appropriate. The Inspector General of Police have been speaking in so many fora, and he has been speaking coherently and eloquently without any distortion.
Then the man that was beside the IGP later on, wasn't in the video released officially. Thank you very much for your time on the show, Police Public Relations Officer Jimoh Moshood. Thank you very much.